Jeffrey Simmons, Rob G, explain, or Simmons, I'm sorry. Explain the situation here with the offensive tackle.
Yeah, he is one of the best players in football. Don't let Sean fool you. He may not be the Joker, but he is a two-time All-Pro.
Jeffery Simmons is a baller.
Jeffery Simmons is a beast.
Titans, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys saw this, but on Tuesday, they had the Titans training camp, and there were media outlets broadcasting live from camp, which is not unusual. Simmons walked up to Buck Reising, who's a radio host in the area, after practice while Reising was still on air, and had some choice words for Reising, at one point calling him a word that people use for cat, which obviously bled out onto the air, was picked up by several cameras. It became a viral moment. Well, somebody within the Titans organization got to Simmons, and on Wednesday, he issued a statement through the team saying, quote, "That's not who I am or who I want to be seen as. At the end of the day, I take full accountability of my actions on the field, and I promise that won't ever happen again." Now, guys, Chris is in the media. Sean, you played and you're now in the media. How do you handle a situation like this from both perspectives?
Because we got two different, we have two perspectives. They may be the same, but from different viewpoints. So tell me what you think as an athlete being criticized by media members.
I mean, I just playing quarterback in that league, you learn, and it takes time. It's nobody wants to turn the TV on and hear people criticizing them, or being overly, I guess, harsh in their evaluation, especially if you feel like they're not justified or not right. But this seemed personal. And the fact that Jeffery Simmons didn't apologize himself lets me know that he meant every word that he said to Buck Reising. And he's not really sorry about it. And sometimes when you have local media members that cover the team, if you're talking Titans 4 or 5 days a week, 8, 9 months out of the 12, like sometimes content, like you go beyond and above, like just giving your opinion. And that seemed personal to me.
But don't you think it could happen with national media as well? I mean, somebody could get mad at something I said or you said or Rob said or Stephen A. Smith said or Skip Bayless. You know what I mean? And that happens.
I think athletes are more forgiving at times to the national guys because, like Chris, for instance, on the show that you do with Nick, you guys are talking all 32 teams over the course of a year at different points. It would be different if you guys are based in Nashville and all you really talk is Titans. Like the level of accountability, I guess, from player to media member, to me is a little
more for sure.
Right, stringent. Like you should know better than to say this or to have this opinion based on what's actually really been transpiring. And this could go back to, I don't know this for a fact, but this could go back to Buck maybe feeling a certain way that Jeffrey disagreed with when they fired Vrabel. Like this was something that built up to now. This wasn't a spur of the moment thing. This was Jeffrey saying, I can't wait till I bump into him.
I will say this, and you can speak to this, Sean. I wasn't a world-class athlete. You were, and I mean, anybody who makes it to the NFL was a world-class athlete, has a career. I could understand, even as I sit here in the media for 30-plus years, I can understand how a player who's a world-class athlete might look at a medium, a reporter, a writer, a broadcaster, and be like, you serious? Bruh, you could not carry my jock strap. You didn't even play high school football, basketball, whatever it might be. And you got the audacity to criticize my game? I get that. I mean, there's a part of me that definitely understands that, but here's where I do believe we in the media do have that right to criticize. It obviously is our job, but it's beyond that. It can be right and wrong too. I think, Sean, look, I don't know the first thing about fixing cars, but if I pay somebody to fix my car and they jack it up, I'm well within my rights to go at them like, yo, I paid you $500 or whatever, and you ruined my car. Or if maybe it wasn't my car, but he consistently, an auto mechanic, is messing up people's car. He doesn't do a good job. They're not professional, whatever it might be. Even though I don't know anything about fixing cars, I do think I have a right to tell people, look, don't go there. I'm sorry, this guy is not professional. He doesn't fix cars well. He messed my car up. So I do think even though media members that didn't play were never as good as these professional athletes, because you're professional and you are being paid, we can judge you and say, well, you're getting paid to play football and you didn't do this right or you didn't do that right. They expected more from you when they paid you. And the fans paid your salary, in an indirect way. And they expected more. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it, Shaun.
I mean, I was raised to whom much is given, much is required. And when you become a professional athlete, especially now, in this information age with all the technology, that's just a part of it. Like, man, you got to have bulletproof emotions if you want to be an elite professional athlete. You can't let opinions impact you emotionally. And it's been frustrating for Jeff. I think it was Rob G that said he compared Simmons to Joker, but in reality, Jeffery Simmons is one of the top 5, 6 defensive players in football, and he's been stuck on bad teams. So there's a frustration that goes with that, and sometimes you lash out. I mean, football's a violent, physical game. It's played with emotion. That's a huge part of it. I think in Jeffrey's defense, because one of his teammates was walking over to do an interview when he initially started that interaction, I don't know if he knew that they were live on air. Because if you go and rewatch the actual video, his teammate's walking over to sit down when it starts. And then Buck says, you can come on right now. And you could tell from Buck's response that there's been some back and forth there. I don't think
he probably didn't know he was on the air, but that's still, I mean, I think I love what you said, and I'm when athletes come into the league, they need to be told this, they have rookie transition programs and things like that, where it needs to be explained, look, this is a part of it.
Right.
This is a part of your job is actually dealing with the media, talking to them at practices, games, and even dealing with the criticism. Like it is there. I mean, in our job, Shaun, now you're media, we have to deal with criticism too.
Yeah, don't read the comments. You're not gonna like what they say.
You have to determine. I always say you have to know what type of person you are. If you want to get all in the comments and it doesn't affect you, fine. But if you think it would affect you, don't read them. Because you do have to have thick skin when in any public job, politician,
I call it bulletproof
athlete,
emotions,
entertainer,
especially in
whatever.
football, Chris, because of this reason. You only get 17 performances. In basketball, you get 82. Baseball, you get 160-something, 62. In football, you get 17. I've seen it impact players. Like, there have been times, and I'm not picking on him. He's just an example that I think everybody listening can kind of relate to. I've seen Lamar Jackson play a football game trying to denounce and disprove what the critics are saying about him.
Well, I thought that AFC Championship game.
Well, I'm not going to run today. I'm going to play strictly from the pocket.
Right. I agree.
I can see when it impacts players.
Like, did you, and we don't have to redo the whole game, but I want your opinion on this because remember he had the long run, I think it was 21 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that he could have broken away from the guy. But he wasn't really even trying. He was kind of looking back and reaching out to the guy almost to stiff arm him, but kind of looking back instead of just taking off and trying to get out on the sideline and go all the way. You know what I mean? I thought that was a mistake.
Absolutely. I think he gets impacted at times by the noise. Yeah. He does. It happens to athletes all the time. And, I've been there, so I'm not criticizing the athletes because, man, it takes experience. I'm just telling you, when especially in the NFL, and this is where the 17 games come into play, Chris, you played in it's 6 days of evaluation on all these platforms, and everybody's got an opinion.
It's a lot to deal with there, no question.